tap, blah 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 blah. Welcome to Magic the Chat. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Magic the Chatter, and I am your host Cal, and today's episode we've got something a little special for you. We've got a top 10 sleeper hits from Modern Horizons 3 in no particular order, no rares or mythics. That's the one thing that I've settled on here. We won't be talking about any rares or mythics. We know there's a lot of good rares and mythics in the set. We don't need to talk about them. So let's talk about commons, uncommons that can and will see Commander play. So first up, it's Metastatic Evangel. Metastatic Evangel is 1 and a white for a 3/1 Phyrexian human cleric. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. Simple, efficient, effective. This is a really good card in any deck that cares about counters of any kind. Infect, +1/+1, rag counters. Very cheap in its cost. It'll be a staple in EDH for years to come. Currently pre-ordering at $2.20 on TCG Player thereabout, so not too expensive either. Pick it up while you can. If you've got any type of deck that cares about counters, this will be in it. Up next, Propagator Drone. Propagator Drone is 1 and a green for a 2/2 Eldrazi drone with Devoid. Creature tokens you control have evolved. 3 and a green, create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn token with sacrifice this creature, add a colorless. Now, this card can get out of control very quickly. Having evolve on all your creature tokens is really good, and at a cheap cost for 2 mana, just like Metastatic Evangel. Very cheap cost. If you're playing a token deck, I don't see any reason you wouldn't play this if you're in green. It's also got a mana sink built into it, so if you happen to be making a lot of mana, and you are in green, so you probably will be, then I see no reason why this wouldn't be in your deck. Currently pre-ordering at $1.42 on TCG. Again, pick it up while you can. You'll see it for years to come. Very good card. Up next, Envoy of the Ancestors. Envoy of the Ancestors is 1 and a white for a 2/3 human cleric with Outlast for 1 white. Modified creatures you control have lifelink. This is another one of the Outlast creatures that we've had a few of that give creatures with usually counters a buff. This one cares about modified creatures, and I think that is a big difference. I think that's going to matter. And I think lifelink on, if you've got a board full of 1/1s that you put counters on, with a Propagator Drone for example, having that lifelink is going to be invaluable. It can keep you in a game and eventually win you a game. I think this is a very good card. Outlast is only 1 mana as well, so it's not a massive opportunity cost to activate the Outlast on it. 129 TCG Player pre-order. Can't complain with that. It's going to be around and about. People are going to think it's draft chaff. Pick it up where you can. If you've got any deck that cares about any kind of modified creatures, this will be in there and it will be very good. Up next, Monstrous Vortex. Monstrous Vortex is 3 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, discover X, where X is that spell's mana value. Now this card is going to be ridiculous. I see this similar to Wilderness Reclamation in the way that it just kind of will take over a game. I think if you are in a deck that cares about any kind of high-powered creatures, and realistically, power 5 isn't that high in Commander. I think we can get bigger, scarier threats. Power 5 is pretty average in Commander, and the amount of value you get off this for 4 mana, yes, it's a 4 mana do not an enchantment, and if you play it on turn 4, just for it to get blown up immediately, it's not going to feel great. But at the same time, if it sticks around, oh boy, are you in for a treat. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we'll see this card in decks for a long time. Any green deck, especially if your commander's already 5 power, I don't see why you wouldn't play it. Up next, Consign to Memory. Now this card is maybe more for you CDH folk out there. I personally am a fan of it because I'm sick of one ring, essentially. And this counters around one ring. Also counters any triggered abilities, which I think is very important. I think you'll see this in sideboards for Modern quite a lot. But in Commander, I think it's just very versatile. It's the 2-mana counter on Eldrazi Titan and its triggered ability, which I think now more than ever is going to be relevant. So pick it up while you can. $2.74 TCG Player pre-order. Pick it up, play it, you'll love it. Up next, Copy Crook. Copy Crook is 2, a blue and a blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter rogue. You may have Copy Crook enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it has, whenever this creature attacks, it connives. Now, I'll admit, this isn't the greatest of great cards, but I am a sucker for a clone. I love a clone. And a 4-mana clone, an uncommon, I couldn't ignore. 4-mana clones are always very good in Commander anyway. The added connive, I think, is actually just a really nice bit of additional text on it that it didn't really need, but we'll take it. And I think the value you get from that connive, especially if you're in a graveyard strategy where you can use that connive to fill your graveyard, I think it's just a really good card. And I think at $1.73 on TCG Player pre-order, I think you're getting a pretty good deal there. I will be picking up a couple of copies, certainly. Yeah, what more can I say about it? And the art's pretty good too. So, up next, Cranial Ram. Cranial Ram is a black and a red for an artifact equipment with living weapon. Equipped creature gets +X/+1, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Equip 2. Now, yes, this is slightly more restrictive than Cranial Blatant, but if you're in a Breya deck or just any deck that can play it, it's just a second copy of Cranial Blatant, and Cranial Blatant is a very good card. Of course, Cranial Blatant has the equip at instant speed, which is relevant, and I'll give you that. But Cranial Ram, I think, is just as good, because realistically, I've not really seen the instant speed go into effect that often, so I don't think it really matters. Also, it being a living weapon, it negates the equip cost anyway, so it's a genuine threat as soon as you play it. And I think this is just a really good card. I think you're going to really enjoy playing with it. I think you can pick it up for right now for $1.92 on TCG Player pre-order. I think that's a good price, and I think it's only going to go up and up and up. So pick it up, play it, enjoy it. Up next, Marionette Apprentice. 1 and a black for a human artificer who's 2/1 with Fabricate 1. Whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Right. Blood Artist. Good in Commander. Marionette Apprentice. Better. Marionette Apprentice caring about artifacts matters. I know you don't gain the life, and obviously in some decks the life is what you're looking for, but if it's the drain that you really care about, this is crazy. Seriously, in a treasures deck, this is going to go insane. Pair it with Mirkwood Bats, and you've got a game that's ending pretty quickly. Low mana cost and only 2 mana, same with Blood Artist. It's a good alternative if you can't find a Blood Artist, but the fact that it cares about more than just creatures, and it cares about your artifacts too, in an artifact-based strategy, is very good. $3.17 on TCG Player pre-order, so people are noticing that this is a good card, of course they are. But if you can get it now, or in a week or so when it's at its lowest, I think that's when you're really gonna make the most of your money. It's a really good card. I think we'll see it for a long time. This is going to be one of those ones that is a kill on sight, because a combo kill is probably not far away. Up next, Thran Charm. Now, Thran Charm is 1 and a white for an instant. Choose 1. Thran Charm deals damage equal to twice the number of creatures you control to target creature. Destroy target enchantment. Exile any number of target players' graveyards. Thran Charm is a common, first of all. And I know a lot of people look at this and think it's just a combat trick that I'm going to use in sealed or draft. And Okay, yeah, maybe you could discount it as that. What I see is a really versatile instant. You only need 2-3 creatures for this to be doing 4 to 6 damage, and that'll take out pretty much anything on the battlefield. Destroyer, there's always going to be a target for that enchantment removal every time, and that third mode of exiling any number of target players' graveyards. Any number, remember. So that's 3 graveyards for the price of 1. I don't think you can complain with that. I think you get rid of a lot of wins with this card. Because the amount of times you see things recurred in a game of Commander, this will negate it. And I think, yeah, at $1 on TCG Player Pre-Order, this is a hugely valuable card. I think we're going to see it for a long time. Maybe not as much as we should. I'm certainly going to be packing it in white decks from now on. Maybe you should too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. On to the next one. Evolution Witness. Evolution Witness is 2 and a green for a 1/2 Elf Shaman Mutant with 1 and a green to adapt to. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Evolution Witness, return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. This, much like Metastatic Evangel, is a little bit narrow in what it does. However, what it does very well. The ability to repeatedly put counters on this means you're repeatedly getting value out of things from your graveyard. It's just so good at what it does that we can't ignore it. And as a common for only 3 mana, and the ability to trigger itself if we need it to, I think shouldn't be discounted at all. Being able to actually trigger it yourself without having to have anything else, that can get you back something that you've lost earlier on in the game. It's only going to get better, this card, as Magic evolves, because +1/+1 counter synergies are always going to be around. People are going to keep playing +1/+1 counter synergies, and this is just another one of those cards that are in the toolbox for this deck. $1 TCG Player Pre-Order. Really worth getting a copy, 2, 3, maybe even a playset. It's just a really good card. Yeah, there's not much more you can say about Evolution Witness. If you play Eternal Witness, yes, it's a little bit more versatile because it can get non-permanents. So maybe it's not a direct replacement. But in addition, if you're playing a counter synergy deck, I see no reason why you won't play it. And that's the list. That's our top 10 sleeper hits for Modern Horizons 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and if you want to see more of me and more of what I do, follow my Instagram @the_chattering. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.